Hello, in this video I'm going to be introducing you to my indoor Hoyas, starting with my Hoya lacunosa. So I've had this Hoya for about 1.5 to 2 years, and this is actually my second oldest Hoya in my entire Hoya collection after my Hoya A. So I'm keeping it in this moss over leca, which seems to be doing really well in. We have roots down in the bottom, drinking up that water. I can't really tell if they're dead because I do use humic acid in my fertilizing routine, and that will stain the roots, so it's kind of hard to tell if they're dead or not, but they do look alive for the most part. The water in here has kind of put a bit too much water in here last time, and I didn't even bother to dump it out. So we'll see how the roots down at the bottom go. But I mean, as you can see, it likes where it's at, especially in the moss. I don't know if you can really tell, but there's roots in there. And then I have a pebble layer on top of the moss just to kind of help the moss dry out evenly, because if you don't have the pebble layer, the top of the moss will dry out a lot faster than the bottom. And that just kind of makes it hard for the new roots to kind of go into the moss, especially because the moss, when it dries out, the salts will surface. And so the new roots coming into contact with dry moss and salty dry moss is not a good thing. So that's why I have the top layer of pebbles on here. So that's my Hoya lacunosa. And next we are going to look at my Hoya Species, Species affinis, burtoniae. I originally got it as a Hoya Bella, then I thought it was a Hoya DS70, and now according to the new Hoya changes or whatever, it is probably Hoya Species affinis burtoniae. Anyways, I got this Hoya when it was probably about this long. It had this one right here, this tendril, but it was probably, I think it was actually this long. It's just been, as you can see, it's been rooting, or not rooting, but it's been producing a lot of growth from the nodes. This one's kind of a slow grower for me. I'm not sure why. I mean, it hasn't died yet, but it's not a big root producer. I don't know if you can see, but there's like no roots down to the reservoir down here, and I can't really see too many in the moss itself. So I really don't know what's going on with this one. It still grows, but it doesn't grow really well. I'm thinking that it might be because the moss is drying out too quickly because there's no pebble top layer. So I may just repot this one. Who knows? Now we're going into winter, so I'm thinking maybe I'll repot it next year when we're going into spring, summer. But this will be repotted within a year for sure because the moss is not fried, but it's kind of old. So that's this one. And I kind of just wrap it up like this when it's on my shelf, just to kind of make it neater and kind of hopefully give it a bit more light to all of the tendrils or all of the leaves equally, as opposed to when it's like this and it's trailing under different plants and not all of it's getting the same amount of light. So yeah, I kind of just try to do that, and it stays like that and it stays cute. But you can see, like right here, there's new growth right there, but I don't know what it's doing, or more aptly what I'm doing wrong. So now we're getting into some newer Hoyas that I've acquired. So this one is the Hoya Bella. And so this one I actually keep downstairs in a northwestern facing window that has sheer curtains over it, so it doesn't get that much light. It gets a bit of light towards the end of the day, towards sunset, but as we go into winter and the angle of the sun changes, it will be getting no sort of direct light in any sort of sense of the word, and I may just move this upstairs into my grow area where it can get more sufficient light. But I'm gonna try and leave it downstairs and see how it does. This one is still in the in the medium that I got it from Sorella Orchids in. Oh yeah, and just a clarification, I got this one, actually my Bilobata, or excuse me, my Hoya Species affinis burtoniae and my lacunosa, I both got those on eBay. And this Hoya Bella I got from Sorella Orchids. So yeah, I heard the flowers are supposed to be nice on this one, so I'm hoping that they'll be nicely fragrant, because that is what I like. So on to the next Hoya, which I actually just got yesterday. I mean yesterday to filming this video, because this video will probably go up about a week after I film it. But anyway, I finally got a Hoya Polyneura. This is a pretty popular Hoya. I'm not a fan of, I mean, not to say I'm not a fan of the foliage, it's pretty, but I heard the flowers are nicely fragrant, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I kind of just got it because it's an in-plant and it was there and I couldn't really figure out what else I wanted to get at Sorella Orchids, so I just picked this one up because I wanted to get something. I know that's not a good reason to get plants, but that is the reason I got this one. And hopefully it'll green out more, because I do like my foliage to be quite dark green, but we'll see. I kind of just got this one for funsies, and because it's a popular Hoya that's out there and I wanted to see what all the rage was about. But I mean, as you can see, the bottom leaves do look pretty. They have some pretty veination in them, so there's that. So that's gonna do it for my indoor Hoyas. I think I'm gonna make a separate video for my outdoor Hoyas, but I guess we'll figure out once we edit it and put it up whether they're gonna be separate or together. Anyways, if this is the end of the video, I will see you in the next one, and thank you for watching. Bye.